Hello, hello. This is the last round of the 3 o'clock hour with my friend Dria Burts. Again, before she comes on, we're going to say again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. We are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be. Again, I'll let you know how I know the person. And Dria Burts, I've known for over a year now. She's a part of the Detroit Mass Choir. Well, now we're called the 313 um, Choir. And when I first met her, I immediately fell in love with her. She's hilarious. And you'll find out why she is the way she is. Um, this show has been about also supporting Black History Month. And I have given you a lot of nuggets on today, my own personal reasons why I celebrate Black History Month, finding out how it came about and everything. We're finding out so much stuff today. So much stuff. So you guys, again, like and share the video. Also, before she gets in, again, we have a shut in call coming out, a shut in, a prayer shut in, which will take place next Friday, February 12th at 9 p.m. The host is going to be Apostle Rosalind Watson at our church, which will be Destiny on Purpose Deliverance Church, 10626 West Chicago, Detroit, Michigan, 48204. Please come and support her. And the theme is no more kibble and bits, okay? No more kibble and bits. We need all the food, the steaks and everything. So come and share. If you guys are not doing anything tomorrow, we're still doing social distance. We're still providing masks. If you don't have any, come out and support and go and worship together at Destiny on Purpose. Again, 10626 West Chicago, Detroit, Michigan, tomorrow at noon. And that was again with Apostle Corey Harris and Lady Leandra Harris. We will have guests Apostle Alfonso Smith on tomorrow. Again, you don't want to miss this. I think that's all my announcements for now. I had a friend tell me today. I don't know if you guys know this, but of course you know Sunshine is not my real name. Um, it's Camila, Kamilah. Let me say it again. It is Camila, Kamilah. That is my real name. And for years, I didn't like it because people mispronounce my name a lot. And I got tired of correcting people. I've corrected you several times. In when you mess it up, when you try to call me again. And it's only because a lot of people name is similar to my name and you just don't want to change. So I got tired of correcting people. So I said, forget it. My name is Sunshine from now on. I give you one chance. And you mess it up, no, because I'm not doing this anymore. My mom and my aunties took the time out to go into an African baby book and they found my name. They named me Camila Aisha, Aisha, which means the perfect one of life. I used to joke with my mama like, y'all messed me up because that Camila is not that. However, God didn't make no mistakes in naming me. So I had the conversation, a little cute little conversation, real quick. And I wanted to thank him for pronouncing my name correctly without me having to tell him what my name was. Most people can't do that. And so I want to give him kudos for saying my name right. And he said, Sunshine Camila, your name means everything. Wow. Blew my mind. Now, those who grew up with me, they said, and for some, they was like, "Who is Sunshine?" Until they saw my picture. But over time, even though during the mess that I had to go through, divorce and all, I'm still signing. I'm still smiling. I have become sunshine to some people, but my name is now Camila Aisha Foster. That's who I am. My name means everything to me. I fought a long time to have happiness, not just because I'm married. My name means everything to me. So, yes, I'm still sunshine, but most importantly, legally, on paper, y'all just don't understand how long I had to fight for Foster. My name is Camila Aisha Foster. Let me see what's going on with my person. Hold on for just 1 second, you guys. So I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving the show. Our numbers are going up. I appreciate it again. Please like and share the videos. Please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Keeping it real conversations with Sunshine. There she is.
Yes.
I can't
Okay.
see you yet.
Can't see me yet. Hold on. Hold
Nope.
on. There we go. Okay. Can you see me now?
Yes, Dria.
Lighter. I think I need lighter. Can you see me like clear?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You in the closet?
Girl, I'm trying to be in my room away from everything. It's a lot going on.
I'm like, why did it look like the closet?
I'm in the corner. I'm in the corner of my room. I'm just,
Okay. So
things.
everybody, please welcome Dria Burts to the
Hi.
show. She is, when I say in choir rehearsal, she be making my stomach hurt from laughing so much. Okay.
Where am I? Turn this off. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So I was telling some people the synapses a little bit about you.
Okay.
I told them that I've known you for now in July, no, June,
June.
something like that. It would be a year.
Yeah. Only a year. Wait a minute. Wait, where you go?
I
Where you
think
go?
so.
Where are we? Why aren't
I
we
still
here?
see you.
You can't see me. I can't see you at all. What is going on?
I can see you.
You can see me.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh my god. I can't see you at all.
I don't know what you did.
Me neither. This is weird. Okay, wait. Go back.
Yeah. So I came to the choir in the process of getting a divorce. Remember?
Right.
So that was 2019.
So it has been only a year. Okay.
Mhm.
I
You
thought
found
it was
me.
2 years.
You didn't put yourself in another.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what I am doing here. What? Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know what I did. There we go. There we go. I done gave myself another
I
now
see
it's
another
like Dria
screen.
and Dria. So that's kind of funny. So I'm like up here and then I'm down there in the corner. So
So yeah. So it was. I want to say I came in May June of 2019 because I remember Oh, it's about to be official soon, or something
Yes.
like that. So, in the time I met Dria, I had just got up and testified about it. And I was like, you guys, Detroit Mass Choir is what I needed. Um, Still need to this day. It was like a as they would say, something like a sugar rush, like something
Right.
that was just poured into my veins. Like I needed this. I needed this choir. I needed this camaraderie of people in my life at that time. Drea got up and hugged me, and I didn't think she was gonna let me go. Okay, and she said, I, I've been there, done that, and you gonna be all right. You gonna make it."
You are. Well, you already have.
Yeah, come
Right.
on now.
Yeah, you already have. So,
But this is Drea.
hi
She
everyone.
she is definitely comedian. Definitely, I could say if I had any troubles, if I needed someone to talk to,
Get out of here,
and
Annie.
she's constantly taking the stuff off her wall, I could call Drea. So, where I don't even know where to go. How long have you been singing with Detroit Mass Choir?
I have been singing with Shawn for about 5, going on 6 years. With the coronavirus and everything, we were on a halt for almost a year, right? Yeah, yeah. March will be like a year we've been on halt, but almost 6 years. Yeah.
And was this prior to the incident with your daughter, or was this after?
Yes. Actually, my baby was, I think, 2. She was 2, or maybe she was 4. She died when she was 7, so she was 3. She was 3 when I joined.
Okay.
So she kind of grew up in the choir.
So
To say
how did you find the choir? How did you hook up?
actually, because Shine is nosy, don't tell him. He found me, and of course, he begged and begged and begged. Come on, Dria, come on. At the time, I was wrestling in my spirit, conflicting with, as we say, church folks. So I wasn't really trying to join the church or anything like that at that particular time. I wasn't completely saved. Like I said, my soul was like in between spaces here. But he asked, and then he told me when the choir rehearsal was, and I just decided that I was going to come. Just
Mm. So what we're talking about is Shawn Harden is our leader.
yes.
We're not called Detroit Mass Choir now. What are we 313 what?
I think that's only on the Facebook. I think we're still Detroit Mass Choir. I'm confused. Don't get me the line.
I don't either. However, we're talking about Shawn Harden, and that's like Shawn is everything. Like he's the minister, he's whatever you need Shawn to be. That's what Shawn is, literally.
Right.
And that's good to be in that place of a leader, not just a music director, not just that. He is whatever you need. If you need Shawn at 12 o'clock midnight, Shawn will get up and talk to you whatever you need. Blase, blase.
Right.
Shawn popped up at my wedding, and when I say I was shocked, I couldn't even walk down the aisle because Shawn and his wife was behind me, and they like, Sunshine, you gotta walk down the aisle. And I'm like, but I'm turning around, but it's Shawn, you at my wedding. He said, girl, pay attention to what you doing. I'm gonna get in there. And I'm like, no, go ahead, go sit down. He like, Sunshine, calm down and walk down the aisle.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah. So I appreciate everybody from the Detroit Mass Choir. When I needed y'all the most, you guys were there in my emotions, also physically, whatever. And you guys have not stopped being that to me. And you again was one of the first ones who welcomed me with open arms, a fellow alto.
Yes. And that's our job, because the choir, when you come to the choir, you're a little nervous, a little reserved. It's our job, as elder members to come and hug and greet and let you know that it's okay, because sometimes in choir rehearsal, we go full blown church. We have us a good Holy Ghost time, and sometimes that might be a little strong for people, being that's their first time being, in that particular setting. But I do believe that we are supposed to share with one another our experiences, in life and just our daily walk, because my story may help you, your story may help me, you know. You just never know.
And you're at Chrysler, correct?
Yes, yes, I've been
How long
there
have you been at
for
Chrysler?
21 years. It don't look like it. No, it don't.
But 21 years.
Yep, I've been there 21 years. This year be 22 years. It seemed like it don't look like it, but my
Mhm.
body feel like it.
So, in your opinion, and you're married, correct?
Yes, I've been married for 3 years now. Thank God. Thank God.
So I have worked in a plant before. I've seen it all, been a part of it all, and plant life is something else. How have you survived working in the plant?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when I got there, I was about 24 years old. Right now, I'm 45. Yeah, I'm 45. I was about to say 46, but I'm not gonna rush it. Um, when I got there, it was like a whole world. Like they sold everything in there, you basically see the same person or people 8 to 10 hours a day. You see them more than you see your family. So you do become family, but it's easy to be caught up in the madness of it all. But for me, I realize it's just a job, you know. Some people, they get in there and it's hard to get out, get in, do your 8, do your 10, get on out of there, try to stay above the madness, basically. But I love it. I'm plant life. That's where I'm at. I love it. I have no other choice. I got what, almost 8 years left, and then I can get out of there.
You in the if I'm not mistaken, you in the plant shop. I mean the paint shop, right?
Yes, I'm in the paint shop.
So
Yes,
most people try to get to the paint shop.
yes. Paint is very good to be in if you've been, like, I've worked all over the plant. Body shop, trim, final line where the car is coming off the line and,
That's where I used to
shipped
work
to
at.
the vehicle. And I like paint because it's a little more reserved and it's a little more laid back. You don't have to
It's a lot of
be,
seniority in there.
yeah, and definitely you definitely have to have the years and the time to get, the more laid back jobs. I can't say easy, I would say more laid back jobs if you have the time. But I work on the Siller deck where they run, they really, really, really run on the Siller deck. So we, like, an hour we push out 75 cars, so we're moving. But
Mhm.
it's still a laid back process, because what I do on the Siller deck is seal the vehicle for no water leaks. So it's what I do is very it's a very critical job, but it's a laid back job. It's not something where I'm in there throwing engines or putting in the brake pedals or anything like that, or dealing with the fuel, because we do have to put the fuel in the vehicles before they are shipped,
Go out.
so
Hmm.
they're able to drive.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like being in paint. I've been in paint now about 8 years. My daughter's been going 3. So yeah, about 8 years. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are you actually spraying, or is it a machine that's actually spraying, and then you just keep an eye on the machine?
Well, see, there are different parts. I'm on the sealer deck. Like my husband, he works in the color booth where they do spray the car and all of that good stuff. I don't, I don't deal with no spray. I just deal with straight sealer where we
Okay.
seal, like I seal the hood up under the hood, like when you lift your hood up and you will see heat shield or anything. I'm sealing all of the holes in the hood or
Okay.
in the lift gate. So I'm not working too hard, to be honest. And then like when you put the sealer on, my actual job is to apply the sealer to the vehicle and then take a skive and get in and seal it off
Okay.
so that there won't be any holes, because once it leaves my area, it goes straight into an oven. So it bakes the sealer on.
Okay. I get it now. So you have mentioned about your daughter. Now
Right.
I did tell them the important part of how God helped you with the loss of your daughter, and that was through comedy.
Yes, most
So
definitely.
I want you to talk about the whole ordeal with your daughter and how God started to heal you and where you are now.
Okay. Um 2018, July 15th to be exact. I received a call from a state trooper. I was on my job, and when he called, you know, of course, white man on a Sunday, I'm like, okay, telemarketer, no, that was number one. Number two, when he called me, he asked me, was I related to her father? And I'm like, okay, so where's my daughter? And he never would say where my daughter was. He said, well, we just want to come where you are. We're at your home right now. So I said, no, 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 no. Don't go in my house. Don't knock on the door, because my other children were in there. And they met me at the job. He told me, I regret to inform you that your daughter has been killed. She was in a car accident. Um, my daughter was with her father for about 5 days, and they went to a baby shower. They left the baby shower. He was driving. There was a car on the road. He hit the car. He hit the car.
Hold on, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. No. Okay, say something. Okay, now I
Okay.
can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you.
Um, the car, he ran into a car, which once he plummeted into the car, he drove into an embankment. He drove into an embankment, which once they had the accident, hurt him and my daughter, um, she wasn't hurt or harmed at all, but he was split. Is he had a fatal head injury, which he did not pass. He did not die from the head injury, because my daughter decided she was going to get out the car and go and get help. So she got out the car, she got to a truck stop. There was no one there. So she went to the gas station. When she went to the gas station, she asked the young man to call 911, you know, and then she proceeded to go back to where her father was. On her way back, maybe say half a mile to getting back to her dad, young lady hit her, of course, struck her and killed her instantly. It took them maybe about 9 hours to actually find my daughter and pronounce her dead, because the accident happened at 1 o'clock in the morning. They could not find her because the young lady, when she hit her, she flew over into the embankment, but she flew into the grass. And the young lady was not honest about what she hit. She said that she had hit a deer, but in actuality, she had hit my daughter.
Hmm.
Um, so of course, speeding up to when the police told me, you know, I'm going to say that a year prior, I had cervical cancer. And I just asked God to just help me along and allow me to be here for my children, because I wasn't married at the time. I was a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
And God did just that. So by the time the passing of my daughter, um, my faith was at a point where I trusted God and I believed that He would carry me through whatever it was that I was dealing with. Now, I am going to say that this is extremely hard process. I never imagined that I would lose my daughter. You know, like I thought she was going to be 16 and be able to drive me around. That was the plan, that I had.
Mm-hmm.
But in life, if you trust and believe in God, if you try to make plans for yourself, God has other plans. Um, when she did pass, of course it was public, it was on all of the in all of the newspapers, it was all over the TV. Actually Kurt Franklin reached out to me and let me know that I would be okay. He actually called me through Facebook chat. Um,
Wow.
and he said he wanted to see my face because he had seen me on TV and he couldn't understand how I could be so strong. So he asked me when the funeral was, and I told him. His secretary called me back and said he was promising me that he would make it. I mean, that's fine and all, but just the fact to get the call
Right.
was beautiful enough for me. You know, as far as the funeral, um, I didn't really like. I was going to have it at a funeral home, but I knew the magnitude of people that would be there because I've been on my job for 20 years. I got a lot of friends, and a lot of family. So I decided to have it at a church, and I called the pastor and I told him,
Okay. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
can you
There
hear
you
me
go.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on,
I think the enemy don't want for you to tell your story.
but I'm gonna tell it anyway. You can mute me,
Amen.
but once you unmute me, I'm off and running.
Right.
I asked Shawn, I said, I don't have a piano player. I don't, he said, well, no problem. You know, Sister Dria, we gonna help you. We gonna, he came and he played, and I think Sam came, and then my little brother plays drums. So we just had a full-blown orchestra
Mm-hmm.
at the funeral. But after the funeral, of course, they arrested her father. Um, he went to prison for child endangerment for 4.5 years. He's still serving what's the last year of his sentence now. Um, and I will say with this, when you endure something like this, people don't expect you to have the faith that you have. But I know that the same God that helped me through my cervical cancer will help me through my daughter's death. She was my only birth child. My other children, I adopted, but they're my babies, So that really doesn't play a factor. But I just people expect you to be hateful and mean when something like this happens, and they want you to seek revenge. But the Bible always tells us that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And I knew that if I would put everything in God's hand, that I would be okay. It has not been like, it has been an uphill journey. I'm going to tell
Right.
you, losing a 7-year old as drastically as I did, you know, but I look at the fact of her life, and all of the things that she done. She had a friend, and like right before she passed, she was giving her clothes and shoes and everything away. They say that that you're about to leave when right before your time comes. I don't know how true that is. I haven't left yet. So
Right.
but I had asked her, I said, Noodle, I called her Noodle. Her name was Desandra. I called her Noodle. And I said, well, Noodle, where are your shoes? And she said, well, Mommy, I don't know where my shoes are. So when her best friend came over, she came walking up the steps. She said, well, Desandra told me as long as I'm her friend, I would never have to go to school with holes in my shoes. And I thought, yes, yes, Sonny. As a 7-year old, I thought that
Wow.
that was remarkable. Like how
Wow.
she, the giving spirit that she had at 7, and how she loved, like, in school, she always wanted to hug all the administrators, the principal, superintendent. She always wanted to give out a hug. Smile, it's going to be okay. So her first grade teacher, because when she died, she was in the first grade. They had double promoted her to the third grade. The new school year, she was going to the third grade, but unfortunately, she didn't make it. But her teacher came and she brought me a letter. Desandra would write her letters every day, telling her to be encouraged. And I was amazed at the fact that she would spell every word right. Be encouraged.
Mm.
Encouraged. That's a big word for a 7-year
Right.
old.
Right.
But
Wow.
her teacher's husband had cancer and her mother had cancer. So she had to leave half of the school year. So she came back on the last day, and Desandra was really happy to go to school. And she said, well, Mama, my teacher came back. She came back for me. So when she passed, the teacher came and brought me the letters that Desandra had wrote her and telling her, that it's going to be okay, And I mean, we don't know. They do say out of the mouths of babes,
And perfect
but
praise.
yes. And I just look at how she was and who she was and what she left behind, you know, and that helps me a heck of a lot, really, far as my healing, me getting in that Bible, because Ecclesiastic 3, there's a time to cry and there's a time to laugh. And thank be to God, I've been able to do both through my
Right.
comedy. I'm able to bring joy and laugh, and when she first passed, I really had to question God. You know, People say that you're not supposed to question God, but I feel like that's my father. I should be able to ask him questions.
Mm-hmm.
I really wondered, like what's next? What's going on? What as Christians, we wonder if, and we want our whole walk to be okay, but we don't see the sunshine after the storm. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Sonny? Like, you have to see the sun, and we have to understand that God is going to always be in the midst, and that's what carried me, even through the funeral. That's what carried me. My family thought that, I should crack up and all of that stuff, but I just gave it to God. And I told him, you got to carry me. You got to carry me through this.
I know. I watch. I watch a lot of your posts, and sometimes we have our moments where it bothers us,
Yes.
and you have moments where, like you said, when you question God, like I'm not sure about my steps right now. God, I know I can't go backwards, but even in this moment of me going forward, God, I need you to come rescue me right now in this moment, because if not, I'm gonna lose it. And
Right.
so this is the point where I admire you, because I don't have kids per se. I've helped raise people kids, but I couldn't imagine having to deal with that trauma, let alone my her father having to serve time. Your peace right now with your daughter being gone, the whole trial situation, all of this, and you like God, I need a word from you right now. And I watch you and I understand we are all human. We all human. When I see you reach out and say something, I'll be like, listen, I'm praying for you.
Right. Because
I
I
don't know
need.
what you're going through. I don't need to know. All I know is I know I can go to prayer on your behalf. And I remember you telling us when you were testifying about it, and when you hugged me in my ear, you said, "I've been through drama before, and God brought me out, so you're gonna be all right." At the time, when people tell you this stuff, you be like, "Listen, I don't want to hear that right now. I really
sometimes, but sometimes we have to accept it. I'm just going to be real.
don't." Right, and I'm like, you know, understand. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of going to bed, you know, cuddled up in a baby fetal position. At the time, I had a dog, and I slept with the dog, and I was like, mentally, I would get up. It wasn't like I was in a state of wondering,
Right.
but I knew I wasn't in my right mind either. That I did know. And so you got up and said, God gave me comedy to get me through losing such a piece of me. So I want you to tell us when in the point of your bereavement did God give you this and where to just take off like I'm gonna step out on stage and do this.
Well, actually, I was a secular comic first.
Mm.
When my daughter passed, I would do comedy at Baker's and sometimes Starters. They're on Plymouth, and Baker's is on Livernois. And I realized that I was in the bars, and the bar scene, you drink in and you're doing different things that are not of what God wants us to do.
So you was drinking?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, I,
Listen.
I I have to be honest. This Christian walk isn't always the way that people think that it should be, because
Right.
you do wrestle in your spirit, and you do succumb to certain addictions and things.
Okay.
And um when my daughter passed, when I joined the choir, I let Shawn know that I was a comedian. And you know how Shawn does. He puts us on the spot. So one
Mhm.
day he called me, he said, Dria, tell some jokes. So I got up there and I told some jokes, but the jokes were on him. Because sometimes we all need to hear a good laugh. So maybe about a year into my daughter's passing, I started talking to the Lord about, I had just got married. I got married 3 weeks before my daughter was killed. So I went
Wow.
from newlywed to grieving parent. I'm trying to hold on to what I thought what God gave me, you know. But here's the best part about it. Before my daughter passed, I hadn't been with anyone in 2.5 years. I decided to take a hiatus. Like I was telling you when I whispered in your ear that day, I had been through some things. And I do believe that through my husband, God sent me a comforter, because he's been with me every step of the way. And it has not been easy. I cried a many day, and back and forth, up and down. But with my comedy, like a year in, I said, okay, Lord, I'm married now. I really can't be in the bar and be, late at night and all of that good stuff, the party scene. So he said, well, why don't you tell jokes in church? You know, there are a few of us comedians out here, church comedians,
Mhm.
and I began, I told Shawn, I said, well, I want to start telling jokes in church. He said, okay. So he started placing me on the program, and I did a couple shows for Stacy Crosby. She's also in our choir.
Mhm.
And a show for one of my girlfriends from work. She's an AKA sorority. And then I realized this is a big hit. Then all of a sudden, because like I said, the devil don't care who he use. Coronavirus comes and it puts a halt in my comedy. But I still, I said, okay, Lord, I'm still going to do what I'm doing, because once the corona is lifted and the churches are open, there is a season for laughter. That's
Right.
what we
We
have
gonna
to
need it for sure.
that's what we have to realize, because we went from living everyday life, doing everything to normal, to having to wear a mask. Like I did start to come on live with the mask on, but I don't know. When I first started, my technical difficulty started. So, you see, I was throwing hats and trying to get in my little corner, and because I have a house full downstairs, but that's because Super Bowl tomorrow. That's another story.
Right.
Um, Once I realized that I was like actually church funny, I felt like I'm off and running. You know what I mean? We do find joy in laughter. And there is a space in the church world for jokes. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes, when you go to church, they had an order of service. And the order of service, we get right down to the nitty-gritty on everything, and you don't find it funny. But there is a time to laugh. I do believe that God restored my joy in order for me to move on to my gospel comedy. I love being a comedian. I love bringing joy to people's faces. I love smiling. Not that I got perfect teeth. I do, but but I love comedy. In life they say you have to find your niche. I believe that me being a comedian is just that, because life is funny. And if you want to make God laugh, you try it yourself. You make a plan for yourself, and I'm telling you,
Right.
God gonna be up there cracking up. Oh, so Sister Dria, you thought you was gonna do this? Boom, let me put this monkey wrench in you. Now I'm back at halt. And but yeah, I am very eternally grateful for my mind. Because when you go through a tragedy such as the way my daughter died, and the circumstances behind it, and the public scrutiny, I've never been on TV in my life, and now I got all kind of microphones thrown in my face, and then me being a parent was questioned, you
Did
know.
you have to go to counseling? Did
Yes,
you
I
and the
did.
family go? Okay.
Yes, I did. It took me a year and a half, because there are 12 stages of grief. Denial is definitely one of them.
Mhm.
I was in denial that I was coming home angry, or I was in denial that I was, shutting people out. You know what I mean? Like telling people that they don't understand. Because when you lose a child or just someone in your life, you're not the only person that loses that. And I
Exactly.
learned through counseling. I had to learn that, okay, my children lost their sister. My
Yep.
husband lost his daughter. My other children lost their sister, even though they were just, beginning the jail, we were just becoming a family. It was a drastic loss. But I will say this, since my daughter has passed, God has brought so many children into the world and in my life. I got a bunch of great nieces behind since my daughter passed, 2 and 3, and like 6 months, and then thanks to my husband, because I have a 24-year-old daughter, I have this beautiful grandson. And that's a joy. If there are any grandparents out there, that's a joy like no other. That love is it's a different love. It's definitely a different love.
We had me and my sister when I first started. I think my sister might have been my first or my second show, and
Okay.
we didn't realize that even in bereavement of our father, which his anniversary is on Monday, we all grieve my dad differently. And so she might have did some things my dad loved to do. I went to counseling. I don't think my sister went to counseling, but it's an important that you go talk to someone that's biased to your situation, that will allow you to talk. If you got to scream, if you got to write it out, if you got to whatever you got to do so it don't harbor and make you sick in the inside, it has
Right.
to come out whatever way. like you do comedy. I might sing, I might write. I don't know what it is, but it has to come out. And that's the healing process of the good thing. One day when this is all over,
Mhm.
I get to see you again.
That's right.
And that right there
You're right.
allows me to uh sleep in peace. It allows me to live life to the fullest. When before it was just like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, and my dad ain't here, and this and that. Like, okay, dad told you, write the vision and make it plain. Get up and go back to what you was doing before. In that, I know my father, I know your daughter is cheering you on.
Yes. Yes, I definitely know that she's up there 9 times out of 10 harassing God every day because she was one of them ones. Can I see my mama? Jesus, can I just go check on my daddy? Can I go see my sisters and brothers? I'm sure she was up there rattling chains. You know, um, I do also believe that counseling in the Black community is very, very needed because not only around our age group, you grew up with childhood traumas. Sometimes, like I explained to my nieces and nephews because they're parents now, there's no handbook on how to be a parent. There's no handbook on how to be a child. You definitely winging it all the way, you know. But the way we were raised, what goes in our house stays in our house. That's not necessarily true to me, in some cases. You may be being abused or you having a hard time communicating. You need to go outside of your family circle and talk to someone about that.
And the
But
thing is, some people don't even realize that they are being abused.
right,
All
because you
abuse is
become
not physical.
accustomed to it. Right. You have mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, substance abuse, because as children, when you grow up around something and it looks like it's normal, you become to do it and then you have a problem, you know.
Exactly.
So I do, I actually, my daughter had died July. I didn't get counseling until a year and a half later. Like I went to work and I said, you know what? I need counseling because some days I didn't have the strength to get out the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I have other children, and then like I said, there's 12 stages of grief. I felt guilty for trying to feel good again, and try to love life again. Then I felt like I was being selfish because I'm still living and she's gone, you know. Then I felt like I wasn't going to be able to be around my other little nieces around her age and, be able to enjoy little girls, that bothered me a lot, to be around little kids. So I said, you know what? I have to get some help. I tried spiritual counseling, which is good. I spoke with my bishop several times, and then I put myself in professional counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And she wind up actually talking to me about more things than what my daughter was, what happened to my daughter. And then it allowed me to understand a lot of things that I had been through in my life. So once the counseling was over, I had to go back and really thank her, like, thank you, for sharing different things with me, because like I said, this walk is different. As a child, I was adopted, you know, and my adopted mother, beautiful. Oh my God, beautiful. God knows, beautiful woman. God rest her soul. My adopted family, beautiful. Then when you are adopted, you be confused about having two families, and then you feel the pressure of trying to love them both equally
Mm-hmm.
without getting the scrutiny of from one side of the family or the other, you know.
Okay.
And this is where I love my mom, which made me wind up adopting children myself. My mother always allowed me to know who my people were. She always made sure that I was around them, and I understood and knew that one day she wasn't going to be here. So I was going to need my family, regardless if they have blood relation or not.
Uh-huh.
So that, as a child, I knew at 12 years old, I was going to be a foster parent and adopted parent. I knew that at 12. That was one of my all-time goals, So once I did, I adopted my children, I was 34. Yeah, because I didn't have any children at all. So I adopted my children at 34. And it's a different kind of love, you know, because you fall in love with the fact that God has allowed you to be a mom. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people, they like when you, I mean, Sonny, because you don't have any children, they heart, when you gonna have a baby, and when you gonna have a baby, when
I
you
get
gonna
that
have a
all the
baby.
time. That
Yeah,
pressure.
like, okay, I'm gonna have a baby when God say it's time for me to have a baby. I didn't have my daughter until I was like 36, going on 37. But God had already blessed me with two other children, you know. And I personally, this is just my personal feeling. I feel like God opened my womb when he saw that I had the ability to be a mom, you
Mhm.
know. That might be a little deep, but I do
No,
believe that.
I get it. When
I
I say
believe that.
I have helped several, families um with their children, and when I say literally today, um the little girl that I helped raise since she was 3 months old, today is her birthday. She turned
Okay.
7.
7,
And
yay. Look
yeah,
at 7.
7. And she's in Texas, and I haven't talked to her since I got married. I
Okay.
I talked to her maybe once after I got married, and I felt some type of way. I didn't want to get attached to this little girl when she was a baby, because I knew eventually one day this was gonna happen, where we wasn't gonna be, together. And I woke up this morning and I'm like, I felt some type of way. I'm trying not to cry right now.
Don't cry.
And I said, here it is again. Another one of my children are gone. God, when are you going to bring me my own child where nobody else can take my child from me? I said that today.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I dealt with that for 20 years because all of my sisters had kids. All of my cousins had kids. Heck, some of my cousins' kids had kids. I was like, okay, Lord, I'm up here now.
Right.
Same thing. I had 3 godchildren. I helped raise them from babies all the way up. Sometimes in different situations, the children are being snatched from you, or they being played like pawns, and because you love the child, you jumping around, you want to be, in the midst of the child. But Sonny, I will tell you this: if God does not bless your womb and you do want a child, become a foster parent and adopt, because there are children out here that need love. There are lots of children that do not have, they're in the system and they do not have no one, you know, and far as your little guy baby is concerned, as long as you're in here, nobody can take that away. Even though you don't physically see her, she know, because you in here, you know. And trust me, believe you me, because I've been through it. Like I said, I didn't have children until 20 years later. Um, they remember you. You might not see her now, but you might not see her until she's 10, 12, 16. She's going to remember you. She's going to know that they don't forget. That's the beautiful thing about children. But you don't, you married now, you adopt. You adopt. And then you just wait for God. Because
I'm
there
still
are
not to.
wolves out
I'm
here.
still trying not to cry right now.
Yeah, don't cry. Don't cry. I mean, when you do stuff good and people tend to not treat you well, it will hurt you, but it's not supposed to harden you. You understand what I'm saying? Because you still have love out here. That baby, that's your baby. You know, she may be in Texas, but she in your heart, just like you in her heart. So what you do is you keep moving and you find you another baby and you instill more love and more support into that baby. And that baby is going to grow up and be the man that God has called him to be. You know,
Uh-uh.
can
Okay,
you
I
hear
can
me
hear you
now?
now.
Okay.
I
I don't
told you
know.
that enemy don't want you to tell your story.
I don't know what's going on, but we've been disconnected like 3 or 4 times. I'm in the corner or as it is. I'm normally downstairs sitting in the living room, but
Your story, I know what it is. The story is so powerful. The enemy, the lady I had on a while ago, um, she had HIV, COVID, and breast cancer.
mm,
And when I say the audio, the picture freezing up 15 times during the whole thing never happened before. I know the enemy don't want you to tell the story. It's okay. It's okay.
well, I'm gonna tell that good devil this. We gonna tell this story regardless if we got to keep repeating it. You know,
Exactly.
it's important for us as and I do want to say this, that we are spirits living a human experience. Sometimes we forget because we're on earth that we're humanized. We're spirits, you know, and back to the ground we're going to return our earthly body,
Our earthly body. Mm-hmm.
but our spirit is going to go and return to be with the king, you know. And that's the joy of it, you know. It's a blessing to even have had God to allow us to enter through the birth canal and come on earth and leave an impact, you know, no matter how the impact is, to just leave an impact. Because with my story, with my daughter, you know, I've helped so many people since my daughter's passing.
Mm-hmm.
So many people. I've had a few friends at work who's lost their grandkids and different things. And you know, they say, well, you know, Sandy, because my name is Sandria, they say, you know, you always have a smile. I don't have nothing to be sad about. God has carried me from the beginning. You know, like I said, my story, you know, with me being adopted at 12 in the foster care system, from 3 all the way up until I was adopted, you know, going back and forth, different, you know, families trying to, you know, um, God's been there. He's never left me, you know. He's been right there. And I'm
The
appreciative.
good thing about this is when the obedience comes about and we realize while we're here, part of it, right?
Right?
And I've been saying since when I did this show, 6 degrees of separation is real.
Yes.
The people in my circle, your circle, know somebody else. They connect and then they go to a whole different level, right?
Right?
Your story had to be told somewhere on some platform. Talk to somebody else. We don't know where this show is gonna go, right?
Right?
Somebody might contact me like I need to talk to Dria Burts because I'm going through bereavement with I lost a loved one, whatever the case may be. I had you on here. God told me to call you. That wasn't me. Every
Yeah.
person that I have connected, it was a reason. I didn't do this. He did. So
Okay.
therefore, you on a platform where there's no restrictions. I could talk about God all I want. I could say whatever. And it's going out here.
Right.
So all I know is the story hasn't all been told. We will get back to the platform of the comedy, the love of God, sharing it, and you being at Chrysler, having a prayer group, and all of this stuff. It's all gonna work for our good, all of
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And
Because you
so,
know that you hinted on that. I was thinking, we started the prayer group at the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was, I was sitting there. I said, well, Lord, I'm ministering and praying over people and talking to people and sharing my story, and I'm still grieving. You know, it may not be as strong as it was in 2018, but I still, I feel that void, you know, and really I miss her. But the joy of it is I know exactly where she is. And I know if I continue to live right, I'm gonna be with her, you
The
know?
same thing I feel about my dad.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here because it's
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Yep. It's
But
4.
again, I'm gonna have you on again,
Okay. And
and
then I can tell some jokes.
absolutely.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we just gonna continue to love on each other. Of course, do what we do with the Detroit Mass Choir. And I just thank you for taking the time out to come on the show. And again, I love you, my sister.
I love you too. You know that though.
Absolutely. So I will talk to you soon.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.